Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Kate Deiters, and today I am talking with Kerry Martin from Quest Analytics. He is here to tell us what is happening in the dental space, and we're just going to dive right in. Kerry, it's so great to have you here. What are some of the trends that you are hearing and seeing in your conversations with dental plans?
First of all, we're extremely proud of our partnerships with our dental and vision clients. They're some of the largest in the country. And dental networks in particular are some of the broadest and deepest around. And although network adequacy from a regulatory perspective has lagged a little behind medical, dental network development specialists and analysts aren't any strangers to provider access and demonstrating their network depth and breadth to employers or partner health plans. And spending some time with those dental plan friends, I have come away with a few things. And first, and it's probably true on the medical side as well, but expenses are rising and the downward pressure on premiums are real. So high cost, lower premiums create quite a few issues. And so they're exploring new strategies that increase revenue and reduce expenses. And that's sometimes captured in preventative care and early intervention to keep those costs down, but it's also delving into alternative payment models. So fee-for-service, still king, remains the most prevalent payment structure, but some dental provider compensation models are starting to incorporate value-based elements like they do on the medical side. So dentists are being rewarded for keeping those costs low and producing positive outcomes for patients. Provider data accuracy, another top priority for dental plans and regulators. Federal and state regulators are implementing requirements to ensure dental plans maintain up-to-date and reliable provider directories. So not only does that reduce member abrasion and improve member satisfaction, but it also creates trust with payer partners where dental may be a supplemental benefit, and they're basically partnering with a larger health plan to provide that service. And you can't talk about accuracy without talking about access and adequacy. It's very much related to accuracy. If a provider location, if that information is incorrect or overstated, then once the data is corrected, then gaps can appear where very few may have existed prior to those corrections, and then access can be negatively impacted. So those are a few. There's lots more, but those are a few trends that we're seeing across our dental clients.
Medicaid contracts are always a hot topic. In your conversations, Kerry, whether it be with a dental plan, vision, or even behavioral health, are you finding that the conversation around provider data accuracy is becoming increasingly important as those organizations are also looking to win Medicaid contracts?
It's a good question. And I think it starts at the foundational level. I mean, regardless of whether you're dental, vision, behavioral health, or medical, because of the importance of those in regards to total health, you almost have to play by the same rules. So accuracy is a big part of that. And I think fundamentally it comes down to, can that person, can that member, can that beneficiary, can that patient find access to high quality care, either in a reasonable amount of time, reasonable distance. And the only way that you can do that is ensure that that provider is at that location. So it becomes pretty important across the board. And what we're seeing in order to prove yourself, either to a regulator or to, again, a payer partner, that provider data roster, if you will, has to be as accurate as possible. And it's not easy. I think 5% or more of that roster changes month over month as far as locations. Providers move, they retire. They may close a location, open a new location. So it's really hard to keep it in check. But, that's what we do. That's the business we're in. But it's becoming more and more important, and I don't think you can't avoid it. It's here. We used to say it's coming, but it's already here, and you've got to be able to do it and do it the right way.
Right. And another theme that I have noticed from regulators and state representatives is how they are viewing the purchasing of healthcare process. So they're in the business of protecting consumers, right? And how someone is buying, what they are being told they are buying is very much what representatives, policymakers are focused on, because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that when someone is told, here's what you will get with this product, with this health plan, that that consumer is getting that. And putting this twist on it in the fact that they are saying, if you are telling somebody, we have this very robust network, we have this, yes, the doctor that you're looking for is in this plan, and then come to find out that that is not true, regulators are really seeing this as a false marketing. And it's becoming a significant concern in the industry, as they want people to have trust in the process.
So is that network truly marketable in the sense that you can trust that those providers are where they're supposed to be, or where you have them listed, and are they accepting new patients? To have a provider at the right location is great. But if they're not accepting new patients, and you are, as a member, a new patient, then it doesn't really do you any good. You still have that abrasion from the member perspective, but that problem of receiving quality care and not having to go halfway across the state to get it. So I think everyone wants to do it the right way. I don't think anyone would misrepresent their network on purpose. But again, going back to that churn and just the constant change of those providers, it's a challenge. And we've all got to get our arms wrapped around it in order to people like you and me to have reasonable access to care.
Absolutely. And with that, I'll say a bigger scale, bigger picture, push around the concept of it being a marketing strategy. I'm curious, Kerry, are the conversations that you're having with plans today, are they starting to bring in teams that they maybe previously hadn't brought into the conversation? For example, are they bringing in their marketing teams to help them understand, here's what our network can offer, here's where we need to develop, but again, connecting those dots across the organization to really make sure that what they are selling, what they are marketing is reliable.
Absolutely. So the reliability comes back to the accuracy piece. I still think access is foundational. But when it comes to being able to market your network, you have to be able to differentiate it. And the way that folks are starting to differentiate it is based on things like costs and quality. So, from a patient perspective, is my network providing the outcomes that are at least on par, hopefully above par, from maybe those providers that are in another network? So that's just one example of how to go in and differentiate your network. The other piece of this is our payer clients are having to prove through the use of claims whether or not there's any clinical activity at these locations. So if a provider is listed at 10, 12, 15 locations, how many of those locations are they actually providing services from, and being able to lean on the claims data to determine whether that provider is a ghost at a certain location. So that's getting there's a lot of talk out there, getting a lot of focus from our government officials. And that usually stems from complaints that are heard by members, patients, you and me, right? So lots of activity in that regard. But I think we can fairly easily shift what we're doing over to really have a marketing perspective of, how do I make my network compelling? Right? I've got them in the right place, but do I have the right providers that are high performing, that perform well on both the cost and quality scale, that I can go out and say, hey, my network's better than, the next guy's network.
Fantastic. Well, Kerry, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely will have you back to talk about more and to bring us up to speed on what's happening across the industry. So thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.